Good afternoon. My name is Kim Bianca Williams, and I'm going to be your instructor for Fundamentals of Communication LA 122. I am absolutely delighted that we're going to be spending time together over the next several weeks getting to know one another, but more importantly, we're going to get to know about communication. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm really not going to teach you anything new about communication. Why? Because we communicate every single day. Think about it. How many times did you communicate when you got up this morning and you spoke to your family and you went outside and you spoke to your neighbors and you came to class and you spoke to your classmates and teachers? Well, what I am going to teach you that is going to be new is how to use what you know in a way that is going to help you to become a more effective communicator. You see, the reason I believe we really need to increase our communication skills is because we have so many things going on in our environment today. We have it on a local level, we have it on a statewide level, and certainly we have a lot of things going on worldwide. And we need to be able to lift our voice when we have a concern or a problem, and not only bring the concern or problem, but be able to effectively articulate a solution. So my approach in sharing this course with you is strictly from an advocacy perspective. I want to teach you how to use your voice to make a positive change and impact with all the things that are going on around you, regardless of where you start. So, with that said, I want to take just a few moments and give you a brief overview of the course. Now, of course, I'm not going to be able to share everything in this video, but please write down your questions, and when I see you this coming week, I'll be more than happy to address any questions that you may have. So, you should have already received a copy of your syllabus that you can find on Blackboard. If you go under the content section, you'll see a little link that will say Course Syllabus. I want you to make sure that you click that link, open up the syllabus, and read it thoroughly. Again, as you're reading through your syllabus, write down any questions, concerns, or comments that you may have, and I will address them when we see each other very soon. Now, there's a few things that I just want to highlight as you think about how we're going to move through this course and the amount of work that is involved. So here's the basic overview. When we look at the course, all of your course materials are actually online, which is a fantastic thing because that means you don't have to spend any money. So all of your course material is right online, but you do have to be actively engaged in Blackboard. Now, you've heard me mention Blackboard a couple of times. Blackboard is Monroe College's system of being able to have interactive learning. So we'll have times that we will spend together in person, and then there'll also be times that you'll be finding your assignment and finding the materials that you need to be successful online. So it is extremely important that you become acclimated with Blackboard. It's not difficult at all. I know you know how to operate Facebook. You might even know how to operate LinkedIn. And some of you may have even created your own website. So if you can navigate any one of the three of those things, I know you're going to be successful with Blackboard. But here's the challenge. In order for you to stay up to date and current with all of your assignments, you are going to need to access Blackboard just as frequently as you access Snapchat. Yes, what is that, 5, 10, 15 times a day? Okay, maybe not that much, but at least make sure you access Blackboard 2 times a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. This way you'll make sure that you stay abreast of all of your assignments and things that are coming up. What you'll also notice at the top of the syllabus is my contact information. You'll see my email address, and you'll also see a phone number. That is my personal cell number, and yes, I want you to have it because I want you to make sure that if you ever have a question, concern, you can always access me. Now, here's the caveat, okay? I move around a lot, so I'm not always able to answer your phone call. But certainly, if it's something of major importance and you need to get a response from me within 24 hours or so, please feel free to text me, and I will text you before the end of the day. However, if it's something that it can wait, it's no big deal, no big rush, then go ahead and send me an email and I'll make sure I respond to you within 48 hours, most of the time. Okay, so that's my contact information. Let's talk about the next order of business, attendance. Attendance is vital. I understand that many of you maybe have jobs, maybe have other obligations, sometimes personal things get in the way, but you have made a commitment to take this course. And as a result of your commitment, I want to challenge you today to let everybody know, all your friends, your family members, people you hang out with, all of those people, let them know that for the next few weeks, you really need to concentrate on this course. And therefore, you're going to remove the things off your plate that you don't need so that you can make sure that you manage the things that are important and a priority to you. And right now, your priority is finishing this course. So in order to finish strong, you need to be here every single time we meet. I can't stress that enough. As you can see, I'm very interactive. We have a lot of fun when we have this course, and you learn so much through the dialogue of your peers and myself. So it's really very important that you make sure you do everything that you can to be in attendance throughout the entire course. Now, I understand emergencies come up, but let's try to minimize those emergencies by effectively planning so that we can manage the priorities of the things that are important to us. Okay, moving right along, let's talk about the actual course syllabus and what is going to be required of you for this semester. Now, it's required reading, and I know some of you might not particularly like to read from cover to cover. Some of you might be too busy to read from cover to cover, and I certainly understand that. And that because I understand that, I want to give you an option, a tool. If you run into some time management concerns and you can't really get the entire chapter read, I do want you to at least do what I call a chapter preview. That means you at least read through the table of contents, you at least read through all of the headers of the chapters so that you have a broad perspective of what information the author is presenting in that chapter. And then if you find something, a term that you don't know anything about, you've never heard it before, you've never seen it, then focus in on reading that section of the chapter. This way, you have a review of things that you might be aware of, but you certainly are gaining knowledge of things that you have no previous knowledge of. And then lastly, always in the back of the chapter is some sort of chapter review and a series of questions. Once you finish reviewing the chapter, I want you to go back to the chapter review. Ask yourself those questions. Are you able to effectively answer them? Do they make sense to you? And if not, something that you don't understand, something you're not clear of, make sure you go back to that section of the text and read that. This way, when you come to class, you won't come cold. Cold is when you're expecting me to tell you everything about everything about what you were supposed to read, and it becomes difficult for us to have a real dialogue because you're just learning about this information. So, do me a favor, do the classmates a favor, and make sure you engage in the text before you come to class. In this way, we can have a fantastic dialogue, okay? So that takes care of the reading. Now, of course, with reading, you will have several assessments. The quizzes, they are not difficult. In fact, they are open book. Now, put a pin in that, okay? Because I don't want you to get overly excited about the fact that the quizzes are open book. As you might imagine, because they are open book, that's not the only way that I'm going to assess your learning, but I want to make sure that you are engaging in the textbook. So that is one method that I use to ensure that my students are engaging in the textbook, is to do the open book quizzes. Now, the questions that are asked on the quizzes are multiple choice, true and false, and fill in the blank. However, the quiz is timed, and you do get 2 opportunities to take the quiz. But here is sometimes where my students go wrong. Because they hear the term open book, they think, I don't have to study, I don't have to prepare, all I have to do is sit down with the book and take the quiz. And that's not the proper way that you want to prepare for an open book quiz. In fact, you want to prepare for an open book quiz in the same manner that you would if you were taking a quiz sitting right in the classroom, because you don't want to waste your time trying to find the answers to the questions. In fact, what you want to be able to do is simply verify the information that you've already studied as you are preparing for the quiz, okay? So we have 4 quizzes this semester. Then, in addition to the quizzes, you will have 3 presentations. That's right, 3 presentations. I'm trying to do this with no notes, all off the top of my head. I'm doing pretty good so far, right? Okay, you will have 3 presentations. One is going to be a group presentation. Now keep that smile on your face. I know when I say group presentation or team presentation, everybody goes, I don't like working in groups, I don't like working in teams. It's so important, right? As you move into your professionalism and start developing your career, you're going to find out that teamwork is extremely important. And your ability to be able to work as a productive team member is going to boost your credibility with that organization. So I want to get you prepared. So therefore, we are going to have a group presentation. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about exactly what it is and what it entails. We'll get to that in due time, but I just want you to know that that is coming down the pike. Now, in addition to your group presentation, you will have a paper, which I call a reflection paper, that is going to be an observation of your experience in working in that group. So those 2 grades combined, your group presentation and your reflection paper, will encompass your midterm grade. And then the other 2 presentations that I mentioned, the first one is an individual speech. Now, I know some of you are nervous about speaking in public, which is why we allow the group presentation to occur first. That gives you an opportunity to get your feet wet and relax a little bit, and you're standing alongside of your peers before you have to present by yourself. But here's the thing about informative or persuasive speaking, and that I'm going to teach you those terms and tools so you don't be alarmed there. But when you talk about informative or persuasive speaking, any type of speech that you do, if you are passionate about what you're talking about, the speech is going to be nearly flawless. Why? Because you are excited about the topic, because you are passionate about the topic, you're going to put in the time to do the research, you're going to be stimulated by what you find, and you're going to be excited to share that with everyone else. And you'll begin to get these stimulations and excitement as we move through the course and talk about the various issues and challenges that we face today. So I am excited and looking forward to the opportunity to hear what's on your heart and mind as it relates to understanding how to be a better communicator, especially regarding our environment. And then the final presentation that you will give is going to actually be your final. It is what we call a Blackboard portfolio, and it will give you the opportunity not only to include your resume, and by the way, we're going to have a guest speaker that's going to come from Monroe and help you put together a resume. Even if you've had very little experience, there's still a skill in putting together a good resume. It will also include a biography of yourself, which I'm going to help you write. And then finally, it is going to include your essay for college application to Monroe College. So those are the 3 presentations that you have. Now, finally, if you would look on the bottom of your syllabus, you'll see how much each of those sections of the course weight out on your grade. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that when I see you, because I actually need that in front of me. I can't remember that. But all of those things combined, all of those activities combined, will equal your final grade. Now, I know you are excited about this course, and I am equally excited to be able to teach it and experience it with you. And this same excitement and the same vigor that you feel right now, I want you to carry this all through the course. I promise you, we're going to have a wonderful time, a wonderful session together. If you're there and I'm there, we're going to make it happen. Okay? Now, don't forget what I said. Please review the syllabus. Make sure you review it thoroughly. If you have any questions or comments, please write them down, and we'll talk about it when I arrive and we spend our first day together. The reason that I don't want you to contact me regarding questions at this point is because I know some of your fellow colleagues may have the very same question. So I'd like to address that all at one time. Okay? So I think I've given you a good perspective of the course overview. Don't forget, if you haven't already logged into Blackboard, make sure you log into Blackboard, peruse around. You can't do any harm. You can't mess up anything. And after you finish perusing around, if you still find that you have questions about how to use Blackboard, if you look over to the left-hand side, there's a help section. You click on help, and Blackboard has videos and tutorials that will help you navigate through their system. Again, I can't reiterate how important it is that you make sure you get a good handle on Blackboard so we can have a successful semester. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward to seeing you really soon. I can't wait to meet you. We're going to have a great time.